Hey vinyl community, it's Greg, 3 Dimensions of Music. Welcome to my house. I wanted to go over quickly what I got for record store day today at my record store shop. Before I start, I wanted to tell a little story. I normally get up out of bed around 6 o'clock, 6:15, get a quick cup of coffee, and then between 6:30 and 6:45 I'm out the door. The record store opens at 8 o'clock. Usually they open at 10 o'clock, but on record store day they open up a few hours early to accommodate the crowd. Well, the last few years I've been going, it wasn't too bad. I mean, some of my numbers, what they do when you get there, once you start queuing up for the store because it's closed, the owner comes out and he gives you his business card with a number on the back. And then as you go in the store, they call out your number to the register and you pick out your records you want. So most of the time I get there, I never really got no higher than 20 or 21, I guess. I was always 18 or 19. The same time today, I went, and as I drove up to the record store, I could see the line, and I went, wow, that's longer than I'm used to seeing. And then I had to park somewhere else because the parking lot was full. You couldn't find a spot. So I parked at the local Dairy Queen down the way and walked back. And as I was looking at that line, I noticed that, that's my furnace turning on, so hopefully it won't be too noisy. I noticed that the line was a lot longer than I thought. I said, holy cow, I don't know if this is even worth waiting for. And I always make a list. And usually a week or two before record store day, I go through the list. And this list here that I had was actually twice as long. Then I called it down to a certain few, and I highlighted the ones. And what I do is I always give the clerk my list, so I'm not calling off things. All he's got to do is read it, find it, because all the records are behind the counter when you go in for record store day. So I gave him my list, and I was thinking about it. If you remember the Back to the Future, when things weren't going right, he had a picture of his family and his parents were starting to disappear in the picture. Well, that's what my list started to look like when I saw that line. These things were starting to disappear on my list, and I thought, holy smoke, this is not looking good. But actually it wasn't so bad. I had number 64. I turned 65 this year. I had number 64, and the girl behind me and her mother were there. They were 65, and she was there for Taylor Swift. And I looked at the line, and just like everywhere else, I watched some videos. Mega Jeff Rockhard Vinyl. He was saying the people were in line like the day before, and there was a guy at this record store that was in line the night before. I could never do that. I don't care what they're putting out. I'm not going to wait in the cold all night long for a record. I got too many records. But anyways, I managed to get what I really wanted. I was surprised being a 64th person being called, because it took a good hour and a half for to get up to the counter. But here's what I got. And I really had one that I didn't get that I really did want, was the Nuggets box set. That's very, I tried my place, and they were out of it. I guess I don't know how many they got, but I would love to see that Nuggets somewhere, because you just can't get those Nuggets. And this is all those Nuggets put together in a nice box set. I was hoping I would get that. But first one I got was Gong, live in Lyon. I believe that's France, Lyon. And they got 3 colored vinyls. There's a blue, a purple, and a green. Pretty wild stuff. Gong is a kind of like a progressive psychedelic type of group. I got into them last year in the record store day. Actually no, this Gong was one. I'm mistaken. I got a Gong CD. It was a live Gong, and I really liked it. It was a double set of CD. So I decided to get this Gong. It's a triple set, live in Lyon. Next one I got, and I'm glad I got it because this was hard to get too. Marble Frog, psychedelic interpretations of certain songs. For instance, Strange Brew, Season of the Witch, Sky Pilot, all those different groups that they remade these songs in their own way. And I read about it and it sounded like something I really like because I just don't have a lot of psych in my collection. It's like on a lime green splattered vinyl. And I think they recreated the actual album. These guys are out of, I believe, Oklahoma, and they only made like maybe 500 or 700 initially when they first come out back in the day. So I said, I'm going to give it a shot. I haven't listened to these yet because I just got them today, cleaned them up. Next one I got was the Pixies, Doolittle live in Brussels. So the complete Doolittle album. It's a 2-record set, and there's light green and like a turquoise blue. Now the reason I got into Pixies is 2022 Record Store Day. I got that Pixies album, and I said, well, I kind of dug it. I did like it, so I figured I'm going to try this one out too. It's a live set. The other one was a real nice album. It's called Coachella, Live at Coachella, another live album by the Pixies, and that's in orange. I think I showed this in 2022, but that's the reason I picked up the next Pixies. I don't have any other Pixies in my collection, just these 2 live albums. The next one I got, I was glad there was one left, was the Yes. This is live at the Knoxville Civic Auditorium in 1972. Maybe some of you people out there have seen this one because there's a lot of people in Kentucky that are part of the vinyl community, so who knows. But this is right after they come out with Close to the Edge. This is their classic lineup, and I listened to some of it. They actually released this, I guess, in a box set with 5 different concerts, and this was one of them. So they released this by itself because I never did get that box set of albums with 5 different concerts. I think it was pretty expensive at the time. I was kind of disappointed in the cover art though. There's not a lot of Roger Dean on there. The inside's barely anything at all, just watercolors. And I'm not even sure if that's Roger Dean. It kind of looks like it is, but not 100% on that, but the music is yes. That's what really counts. And it's a 3-record set. Next one I got was Roy Ayers. I'm rather fond of Roy Ayers. I have a few of his albums. He's a vibraphonist, and this was one that I believe it was his 2nd record. A lot more funky R&B. He's got quite a lineup on here. Herbie Hancock, Miroslav Vitous, Ron Carter, and Hubert Laws. I really like Hubert Laws. I love his flute. And that's on a pretty wild splattered vinyl. Roy Ayers Stone Soul Picnic. Last but not least for today, and I might try to check some of the stores later on in the week and see if they have any of the ones that are that might be kind of stragglers. We'll see. This one is called MEB, the Miles Electric Band. This was put together by Tony Williams, the drummer, and he has quite a few people on there. You can see the list. Quite a few people. It's a jazz album in the genre of Miles Davis. It's actually an homage to Miles Davis. And there's a video on YouTube of how they put this together. Very interesting. It's only about a 5-minute video. It's called Not That You Not Dare To. Kind of a wild. That's what am I saying? That You Not Dare To Forget, I guess. But it's actually pretty good. I listened to some of it. This is a late minute choice that when I went over my list, and I included this on it. It sounds like it'd be very good. And I noticed that Stanley Clark's on it, Miles Davis, John Dryden. I think there was a couple others too. John Scofield, Lenny White, a lot of different people that put their time into making this album. So I'm looking forward to listening to that. That is called MEB, That You Not Dare to Forget. It's got a kind of neat cover, a little Obi strip. And that's it. That's what I've got for Record Store Day. I have this one sitting out because I wanted to show a gentleman up in Boston, Mike from MGK Boston. He showed this. He said it was one of his favorites of his 10 American bands, and I just got chills because I picked this out. This is on Bluesway, ABC, and it just sounds fantastic. I didn't know it was a debut album until he said so. And I'm telling you what, it's a great jam. It's wonderful. The James Gang. Anyways, happy Record Store Day. I know a lot of people don't care about it. I kind of like it. It gives me a chance to pick up some of these unusual releases that you can't find anymore. I really don't go for the re-releases too much, especially if I have it. I'm not a completist in that sense. But because it's different color vinyl or whatever. Personally, I prefer black vinyl because I can see dust on it to clean it off. This colored vinyl is difficult to see any kind of imperfections or dust. But it is what it is. They make them, and they're getting more and more popular. They do sound okay. Used to be they weren't so good, a little noisy, but I do prefer black in my vinyl. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you watching. And I don't know if you saw this to begin with. Professional Pat Pap, which I'm becoming. Say hi to London. I'm drawing a blank on names. Evelyn, Madison, and CJ, otherwise known as Charlotte. Love y'all. Bye.